All right, so let's talk about subject lines. So you're going to be testing out a bunch of different subject lines, but there's an important distinction here. You can't write subject lines the same way you do for marketing emails, right? So you can't really write, high curiosity style bullets like the three things you must do if you want to start earning money today with your new product, right? Like you can't really do that because that breaks the feeling. The feeling of I'm a peer, you're a peer, I'm a friend, I'm a person, cool guy, you're a cool guy. We're on the same level, we're reaching out to each other. Basically, if it's not a subject line that a friend would send on an email to another friend, then it probably isn't a good one, right? So there's some examples of what this feels like. Now, these are the common ones. Everybody uses these. You might want to test this as one of your baseline things, but if you make a subject line of quick question, for example, that's a pretty standard cold email subject line, but it's the right feel. Quick question, question, or you can do the first name question mark. I mean, they're gonna feel a little vague compared to some of the subject lines you're coming up with on the other side. Um, you can do things like that though, but you're gonna want to come up with subject lines of that nature. They're gonna be short, 1 to 5 words max, right? And you want to pick things that feel like a friend reaching out to a friend, or basically you want them to see it and be like, I wonder what's inside that email, right? That's kind of what you want to have happen. You don't want to bait and switch. You want it to make sense with the context of the actual email, but idea for such and such might be a good example of that. Idea for the brand name or whatever. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this, but you want it to be I wonder what's in that email. It doesn't sound like a cold blasted marketing email. I wonder what this guy has for me, right? That's kind of the feeling you want to have happen there, right? You don't want it to feel like a marketing email. You want it to feel like one person reaching out to another. Something though to keep in mind. I had an important thought about this. So coming up with them, I want you to start, like, you'll probably do a deep work session and you come up with 20 to 30 different ones, right? And some of them will be good, some of them will be terrible, but you're going to come up with a ton of different ideas. Order them by the ones you think are the most likely and test 4 at a time. Again, test 4 the first day, 4 the second day. Once you get one that gets over 80%, the next day you can maybe send 20 and see if that 80% open rate still stays. Once you've got that dialed in, you've got a winner. And then you can move on to the next step where you really focus on the responses. You'll probably get responses. You'll probably get sales calls when you're first testing out subject lines, just because you'll be sending out a lot of messages. But this is extremely crucial. You have to get the open rate over 80%. If you don't get the open rate over 80%, all the time you spend prospecting, all the time you spend setting up these email campaigns, it's just, most people when they send cold emails, they get about 30% open rates because they don't test subject lines. And that means that 70% of their time prospecting and setting up the stuff is completely wasted, right? You need to get 80% open rates or higher. It can be done. You just have to test good subject lines. And that will make it to where all that time that you're spending prospecting and doing cold email outreach actually works. So get it over 80% by coming up with 10 to 20 to 30 different subject lines and testing the top ones until you find one that gets you over 80%.